Hi guys, I'm Paul Pluta, the method actor who plays Archibald Chesterfield III. And today, guys, I've got a real honor. Zach Alexander. He's a Commonwealth Games medalist, not just a medalist, a gold medal winner. And for you people who are not in the Commonwealth, the Commonwealth Games is basically for former British colonies, the UK, Britain. It's got some Asian countries, Malaysia, some of these countries that were part of the Commonwealth. And the Commonwealth Games to an Australian is a very, very special thing. One sport that actually isn't in the Olympic Games is squash. And that's a game that they have at the Commonwealth Games, and that is the pinnacle of success. Zach Alexander, he very kindly agreed to do a watch interview with me. He's a huge fan of the Archie Luxury channel. A really, really, really cool guy. A gold medal winner from the 2018 Commonwealth Games at the Gold Coast. That's right. So I want to present this interview. He's very, very kindly agreed to an interview, and I'd like you to take a look at this. He's a perfect gentleman, Zach Alexander, really nice guy, and I had such fun making this video. So guys, sit down, enjoy this. Archie Luxury interviews a Commonwealth Games gold medal winner. Enjoy. Live on the Archie Luxury, the Paul Pluta channel today, I've got a great honor, an absolute great honor. I've got Zach Alexander. Who is Zach Alexander? Well, he's a gold medal winner at the Commonwealth Games. The Commonwealth Games were hosted at the fabulous Gold Coast, and Zach contacted me. And I said, hey, let's get him on the channel. So firstly, I'll let Zach introduce himself. Hello, Zach. How are you?
Hello, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me. As you said,
tell me what sport. Tell me the sport and what medal you won.
Mate, I won a gold medal playing in the men's doubles squash.
Okay.
Don't know if you ever played a few years ago back there in Brizzy.
No, I've played squash. That's a bloody hard game. So you got a gold medal.
Yes, mate.
And how long have you been playing at that level for?
Oh, playing professionally probably for a bit over 10 years, but grew up playing in clubs in Brisbane. My old man has run a few centres back there and just grew up playing on the courts and mucking around and now living in the States playing and coaching over here now.
Wow, that's fantastic. So how old are you yourself, Zach?
Mate, 29, turning 30 soon.
Okay, is that old for a squash player?
The age is actually getting older and older. It would have been 20 or 30 years ago, but now there's guys sort of hitting their peak in between 30 and 35, which is interesting. So,
wow, that's amazing. And the Commonwealth Games, for all you Americans there, it's basically a it's for members of the Commonwealth, so Commonwealth countries. You have Canada attends, for example, whereas America, they had that nasty war of independence. Nasty fuckers, those nasty Americans had that nasty war of independence, so they don't get an invite to the Commonwealth Games. No. But you've got countries like New Zealand. You've got some of the Asian countries, I think, as well. Don't you get there?
Yeah, absolutely. Malaysia, India.
Yes, Malaysia, India. Yep. The UK, of course. So it's for members of the Commonwealth. So tell me this, Zach, how competitive is it to become to represent Australia? That's a huge honor.
Yeah, it was very competitive. I mean, I spent the best part of the last 10 years training and playing, growing up in the AIS, the Australian Institute of Sport, and then moving over to the States to train full time, closer to a bit more of the international circuit and stuff like that. it definitely doesn't have the notoriety of tennis or a lot of the other higher paid racket sports, but it's, as you said, it's bloody hard.
Yes,
And
it's
unfortunately,
hard,
financially, we don't get the rewards that some of the other sports do, but that sort of doesn't take anything away from it. And as you said, the Commonwealth Games is it's the pinnacle for us, you know, and for us to do it at home, for me to win only an hour away from Brizzy where I grew up was bloody awesome, you know.
Well, that's a once in a lifetime chance to have the Commonwealth Games in very near to where you live, and it's a fabulous honor. The only thing I think it'd be very frustrating for you is having to explain, what are the Commonwealth Games? What is the Commonwealth Games? Oh, it's not the Olympics. I could just imagine.
No,
I could just
imagine the last couple of months
in a bar trying to pick up some wench. I'm a gold Commonwealth Games. Oh, what is that you Aussies do? You just imagine these. Yeah. Tell me this. The emphasis on my channel is wrist watches. And are you a watch person yourself?
I have grown to be in the last couple of years.
Okay.
Probably a bit of a story. I know you like.
I love stories.
Yes. Bit of a story time.
Yep.
I was back in Melbourne, probably 2015. I was based back there. Started getting into the watches a little bit, not having any idea whatsoever what was going on. And I actually I snagged a little bit of a sponsor in the form of Citizen. Not that that's anything to write home about, but that sort of started.
Any sponsor is good. No, let's not say that. Let's not say that. Let's not say that. Any sponsor is very, very, very good and appreciated. So you got
It was
Citizen.
very appreciated.
Yes.
I did. I got a couple of nice timepieces from them. And then when I moved back to Brizzy before I ended up moving back to the States here a little bit over a year ago.
I think Citizen is actually the largest watch producer in the world, I think. I think they had that honor there. Yes, just Brizzy, just for you people listening, that's Brisbane. It's Brizzy is just slang for Brisbane. Okay. See, I've Americanized all my locations.
I know.
Brisbane.
We do have to adjust how we speak so normal people, so they can understand us.
Exactly. So you were sponsored by Citizen. That's a great honor.
So yes,
that's a major corporate. That's a major corporate. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it was good. I would wear their watches while I was playing and stuff like that. So that was great. And then when I moved back to the States, I it piqued my interest in watches. And then when I got selected for the Commonwealth Games last year, before it all happened, I thought I'd treat myself. And now this is, again, me being pretty green, but I stepped it up. I purchased a 34 mil Rolex Air King in the silver with the salmon not numerals, but the and then had that for a while. Liked that very much. And then I've got a pretty small wrist, so that was sort of the way that I thought I needed to go.
Sure.
But that's changed a little bit as I've sort of in the last year or so. Then I wouldn't say moved on, but changed a little bit and went to a Breitling Super Ocean 2. The mid-size, which you'll probably cringe at again because of thinking resale and all the proper things that real watch collectors. It was I want to say it was like a 35 mil.
I think it might have been 38 mil actually.
38 mil maybe, but it definitely wore smaller than the regular. And recently I've actually, just for something really different, picked up an Oris 65 in a 40 mil, which is, I thought would have been way too big for me, but it actually wears really nice.
That sounds very, very good there. No, it's look, I would certainly say to you, I would encourage you. I mean, to be an elite athlete is a very, very, there was actually a very good interview that Houdinki did. Hodinkee. Hodinkee is kind of the he's a very serious journalist on watches, and he interviewed Greg Norman, another Brisbane sportsman.
I watched that because I've been down to the medalist to the golf course that he owned down in Florida where he did that interview. So I was sort of keenly watching that.
And it's quite interesting. Greg Norman actually bought a lot of watches when he was in certain places. And I would say to you, as an elite athlete, I would be, if I were you, keeping the watches. Don't sell the Air King or any. You might say, oh, it's a bit too small, or a bit this, or a bit. Just keep it. It's something you got to remember, because I can tell you now, as a guy who's in his mid-40s, time goes very, very fast, and before you know it, it'll be over, and it's a very, very, the time being an elite athlete is a very, very short-lived experience. So I would encourage you to keep your wrist watches and just document or just keep them. So don't ever sell them, no matter what they're. And I would keep your Citizens. Keep your Citizens. If you were sponsored by Citizen, that's a huge honor. That is a huge honor to be sponsored by a company, a corporate of that size there. And it's not a top level corporate. It's not a top level high horology piece, but they're appealing to a lot of individuals, normal people. The watches are fucking expensive. Watches are fucking expensive. I mean, we can't all. Greg Norman's got gold Submariner, gold this. I mean,
he hasn't even worn them either.
No, but I mean, that's I'd certainly encourage you to keep those pieces. I actually do agree with you. If you've got a smaller wrist, don't make apologies for that. If you've got smaller wrist, enjoy what you like. You're very lucky if you've got smaller wrist, because there's some absolute bargains that are there. The Air King is a great watch. I've always loved the Air King. I think the 38 mil Super Ocean is actually that's a cool watch. That's the Heritage. I know the one you're talking about. What color did you get?
It was the black dial.
The black. Okay. Oh, beautiful. That's a beautiful combo there. Tell me this. What watches do you hope to buy as time goes on? What are you looking to add?
See, now this is touching on my relatively new, but now probably as obsessive nature of watching these videos when I drive to work and in between training and all that sort of stuff. I do a little bit of coaching, and one of the families that I work with, the father has a Daytona stainless steel, pre-ceramic with the black face.
Wow,
and
beautiful.
I recognized it, and I said, "Hey, mate, bloody sensational looking watch," and he let me try it on. That was the first time I ever tried it on. And it wore a lot smaller than I thought it would. It started a scary little obsession with that watch with me recently. And as I said, I got my 30th birthday coming up in about 6 months. But again, listening to your channel, I'm sort of toing and froing with the pros and cons of being maybe spending 10 plus on something like that, or do you go like the 14060 no date sub for half the price maybe, or do you go somewhere in the middle with like a Sea Dweller maybe, for somewhere in between? You know
what I would do if I were you? This is just me, but I'll tell you, don't sell anything you got. Okay, don't do that, because you want to just keep this for your, eventually when you have children and that there. I would get I reckon a Explorer 1. I reckon that's a cool watch. It's a bit bigger than the 36 mil. 36 mil. No point getting the big monsters. If you're a smaller guy, you got to buy something that matches your physique and your wrists and that there. I would definitely say 36 mil Explorer 1, 14. What is it? It's a 14270. On the pre-owned market, they're a little bit soft because they are considered a little bit small. That make that your gain. I reckon that's a great watch. Unfortunately, with the Daytona, I would say if you're going to buy a Daytona, buy a two-tone.
Okay.
Buy a two-tone, because they are actually cheaper than the steel.
They are. I mean, in the States over here now, like I haven't found anything for less than 13, 14 US in the stainless steel, either color dial. But the two-tones, you're looking at 10, 11.
Yeah, I reckon the two-tone would be great. And that can also be a great watch when you retire. You have your two-tone, and you know, it's a very cool, any Daytona is cool. Nothing wrong with two-tone. I got to tell you, that is absolutely amazing. Let me ask you this: in your life growing up, did many of the players you admire as role models, are they into watches? Do they wear?
Not a ton. I mean, I guess that being the nature of training and playing 3 to 4 times a day, you lend yourself to wearing a bloody $10 Casio, you know, because you're trying to maybe time your sprint sets, and you're sweating 4 times a day, and you're running into walls and rackets and all that sort of stuff. Not particularly, but I'm sort of learning now as I get a bit older and talking to some of the retired guys that are now around the 40 mark, 40 years of age. They appreciate them, and it wasn't until probably the last year that I've started to appreciate them that it's even come up in conversation.
Yes, very. So tell me this, at the Institute of Sport, the Australian Institute of Sport, was there much watch wearers there? Tell me this, any of the coaches, any of the directors, any?
Yes, the coaches, there was definitely one of my main coach, Rodney Martin, who was a world champion, always wore a 36 mil date just with the blue face.
Steel or two-tone?
Steel.
Got you.
Which I thought that was like my little sort of, I always admired that for the last 10 years probably.
That is a good watch to buy as well. That they are, the date just are a very good value, beautiful watch.
Yeah.
So that was okay. That's cool. How about any of the other athletes? When you went to the Commonwealth Games, did you notice any fancy wancy watches with the athletes?
Yeah, a little bit. Some of the older guys. One of my good buddies from England, who I've always sort of known, he has a Hulk. Hulk. I always loved. Yes. And one of my Welsh little buddies, he's a midget of a guy, but he actually has the 36 mil Explorer 1. And he bought it for his 30th birthday. So that's sort of come around to what you're saying.
Yes. No, that's fantastic. So tell me this: when you play like at an event, like those guys you mentioned, do they wear the watches when they're actually in the Commonwealth Games, or no you take them off? Do you? You
take them off a little bit, yeah. Sort of like I've heard you talk about the golfers that are. A lot of events are sponsored by Omega or Rolex.
They take them off.
Fine line where hopefully your kit bag is close enough where you can kind of see it from the court without putting a $5,000 or $10,000 piece away from you while you're on the court and distracted. You know, so that's the risk you run as well, I guess.
Yes, I see what you're saying. So tell me this: you are very much a Rolex man. You love your Rolex. Would you consider, say, an Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon? Because you're in America, wouldn't that be a great piece to get?
Absolutely, yeah. And I've seen a lot of the English guys, now you bring it up, have had a couple of Omega Speedmasters that I've seen.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's I don't want to say hate for English, but rivalry with the English.
Your rivalry,
From the Ashes and all that sort of stuff. I don't want to be associated with anything that they've got to do.
Yes, of course. You know? Tell me this. The other watch I would really heavily say to you may want to consider is maybe a Reverso, a JEWELLERY Reverso, because that was sort of made for sportsmen on the polo players, and then they flip it around. It's it's now become a dress watch, but that'd be a cool watch for you to have.
I was, funnily enough, there's a few dealerships, sort of high end where I am around here in Connecticut. They have a fair few.
Yes.
Yeah. So Greenwich in Connecticut, only about an hour north of New York.
Yes.
So there's a few around here, even the mid-size, but I don't know if that what is it, 23 by 38? I don't even know if that might even be too small, you know?
I think you've got to try it on and see what you think.
Correct.
The reverse. So I've got a grand date. So the grand size is like a bigger size. They've got a tribute to 1931, which I think is absolutely perfect size. It's thin, but it's just so that's fantastic. The other problem is, I mean, let's be honest there. Unless you are in a popular sport like 100-meter or golf, you know, or tennis, these other sports, they're very much a poorer cousin who doesn't get the funding or the sponsorship deals. It's very hard to be an elite athlete. What do you do for normal work yourself there? You mentioned you had a job.
Yeah, so I teach full-time at a club up in Connecticut.
Excellent. Yeah.
So I teach 40 hours a week, and then I train on the side, and I train a few other pros that are top ranked and stuff like that. So it's not easy.
The best advice I can give you, this is just between you and me, is you're moving in some very elite circles there.
Correct.
You maybe find it's very, very beneficial. My best advice to you would be to marry maybe not the most attractive girl, but the girl with the how do I put this? The girl with the most bucks.
Exactly.
Because bucks are really cool. Bucks are cool, okay?
Absolutely.
So if I were you, I would use that opportunity to find yourself a very wealthy, reasonably attractive woman, if you can. You know what I mean?
The hard part is they don't socialize outside their own circles. That's the hard part. You got to get in somehow.
But I mean, you are in because you're the pro coach.
That's true.
So you're muscular. You know, just try. I didn't say you had to. Just try. Just always remember that. But that is very, very cool. Wristwatches. Why wristwatches? What do you do? You collect other things, or is it? Tell me that.
Not really. I've always been a little bit into my cars a little bit, and playing golf, but wristwatches are sort of, I find myself looking at the time 100 times a day, whether it's the start of a lesson or the end of a lesson or running sets or doing weights or in between things. And I kind of figure if I'm going to be doing it all, I may as well look at something that looks nice, you know?
Of course. I agree 100% there. Tell me this: you're a Brisbane boy. You're Brisbane. Yes. You're from Brisbane. I live in Brisbane. I'm recording. This is live from Brisbane. I wanted to ask you this. See, it's such a mecca for cars in America, isn't it? They are so cheap compared to Australia.
It's unbelievable.
What car are you driving there? And what car would you like to have?
Recently, for the past 18 months when I moved back over, I bought an A5 Audi.
An Audi A5, great car. The coupe?
A coupe, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which was beautiful. But it was starting to get a little bit on in miles, starting to get a bit expensive to service. And I'm now recently.
How much did you pay for the A5? How much did you pay for the A5?
10.5.
Fuck! See that car. I mean, an A5 in Australia, they're like $100,000 new. You know, even second-hand A5, you're still paying 50s, aren't you? 40, 50.
Yeah, and it was perfect condition, premium package, Bang Olufsen sound system, leather, navigation, everything.
Yes. So what year was that? Your A5?
It was a 2011.
Okay. Yeah. Not that. I'm just getting a little. Okay.
It had 160,000 Ks on it.
Miles or Ks?
110,000 miles.
Okay, 110. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So you're got rid of that, and what did you get then?
Just got into a bit more comfortable, a Lincoln MKX, which is really nice. All tricked up, so much tech in there you wouldn't believe.
What would you almost go for a Mustang? Mustangs are.
Yeah, but I'm in the snow, and they're horrendous in the snow.
Oh, okay. You need four-wheel. Okay, got you.
Otherwise, I would. Yes, absolutely. But
the other car, I'd love to get a Vet. You know that? Wouldn't you just love to get it? They're cheap as shit. Like a 10-year-old Vet in America is nothing.
Cheap as chips. Yeah. And petrol's cheap and everything's bloody cheap.
Oh, it's a dream.
Fair.
It's a dream. Yeah. No, that's cars are so expensive here. That's why it's just fucking ridiculous. But then that sounds great. So what's your plans? How long are you planning on staying in America? What's your plans there?
So plans are probably another 3 to 4 years in the States here.
Yeah. You've got a girlfriend, or you're
got a missus, mate? Yeah. So she's a Brizzy girl. Brought her back over here with me actually about 18 months ago. So she wanted to get out of home for a little bit and explore the world a little bit. So it worked out.
Just keep her to the side, you know. If you do find that really wealthy woman, you know,
that's right.
It's not, you know. Okay.
Think about the watch opportunities, right?
The watch opportunities, exactly right. You know, that's some really wealthy Americans.
Absolutely.
So tell me this: so you're going to stay there a couple of years there. Then what do you plan to do? Come back to Brisbane?
Come back to Brizzy, yeah. I think the quality of life and the opportunities to raise a family and all that sort of stuff it's second to none, really, I think, in Australia as opposed to anywhere else that I've ever travelled to.
But I must say, you know, I think Brisbane has complete delusions of grandeur. Just because they charge $87 for 2 hours parking in the city does not make Brisbane a world city. I mean, that's the most expensive fucking parking. It's there's a lot of things about Brisbane that really do suck. And I've been a very, very staunch critic of Brisbane, and I try and scare as many tourists away as possible. And
keep it as quiet as possible for the rest of us, right?
I just came back to the coast. I went to the Goldie on the weekend. The two most popular words on the Gold Coast.
For lease.
That's exactly it. It's a disaster.
I'll be watching, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's a disaster. I mean, I don't know what
from the Commonwealth Games, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the state government says we put $500 million in, and I can't see much of a return for the.
They got a couple of tram tracks around, and then everyone's buggered off.
Yeah, everyone's fucked off. That's exactly it there. But hey, that sounds like you're having the time of your life. Connecticut is a great place. It's a great part of America. There was a great a good friend of mine lives in Connecticut. That's Massachusetts, isn't it? Connecticut.
Very close. So Boston, Massachusetts is about 3 hours drive north of here. Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever seen that show, Chasing Classic Cars, with Wayne Collini.
Wayne Collini? No, I'll have to look it up.
Chasing Classic Cars. He vintage Ferrari, vintage, just amazing. He's actually he's in very close to there too. So yeah. The watch dealer I've seen is European Watch Company.
Yeah, that's where I got the Air King from in Boston.
He's a
good dude.
Yeah, I tried to get him to do some sponsorship. He's tight as a fish's ass.
There you go.
Wouldn't flick me anything, but yeah, he's got some nice looking stuff there. He's not a bad dealer.
They do a good job. There's a couple more close to me here in Greenwich is Manfredi and Betteridge, which are pretty big names as well.
Yes. No, that sounds absolutely fantastic there. Look, let's wrap this show up. That's a great honor to have you on my channel. That is a great honor. Sporting. I mean, people don't realize how hard it is to get a fucking gold medal.
No, that's right. I'll have to bloody put it on here for a second, won't I?
Sure.
So you can run with it.
Wow. And I hope you put that in the safe, don't you?
No safe, just the little Aboriginal wooden box that came in.
Okay, I would be very careful with it. Please don't. So many athletes have lost their gold medal, had it stolen. Yeah. You know, Absolutely. Be very. Please, get a bank safe. If you're a serious watch collector, you need to open a safety deposit box and put it in. Okay.
Put everything in there, right?
I'm just saying, I would honestly, come on, it would be, that is such an honor to have a gold Commonwealth Games medal. That is to be invited to the Commonwealth, to participate in the Commonwealth Games is a huge honor. To actually win a medal is fucking amazing. And to get gold, that is you don't realize how well, you do realize how fucking hard it is.
Fucking hard.
And all I can say is, you are a sadistic son of a bitch having to explain to those Americans what the Commonwealth Games is 50 million times. And
I know. Yep.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day, mate. Yep.
Groundhog Day. So thank you so much indeed. I wish you luck on your collecting. I really do wish you well on your collecting. I think personally, keep all of those watches you can. If Citizen, do you still do stuff with Citizen?
Not as much anymore since I've been away. And the guy who hooked me up is a bloody Richmond cheer squad member. So he's been busy the last 2 years.
Yeah, I would do, that's a great honor. Don't ever sell anything, keep it. And, I think looking back, it's a, I mean, that's a huge honor to have got a gold medal in your home, near your hometown is just spectacular. And that's unfortunately there's no justice in the world here where you it doesn't mean you get a lot of money, unfortunately.
Right. No, that's right. Roll with it while you can.
Roll with it while you can, and enjoy yourself. That is fantastic. So thank you so much. I'm going to end the show here.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate it.
No, it's a great honor to have a Commonwealth Games gold medal winner. That is fucking brilliant. So that's a huge honor. I'm really, really honored to have you here. And I mean, those are fucking hard to get. They are very, 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 very hard to get. So well done indeed. And I keep getting your watches, and good on you indeed.
I'll touch base later.
So there you have it, guys. My interview with Zach. And I got to tell you, he's just one of the most coolest guys to talk with. He's just such a down-to-earth guy. Aussie bloke. Good old Aussie bloke. And I got to tell you now, you may not realize this, you Americans, but to win a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games is bloody hard. It's a lot of practice. And he's a true champion. Typical Aussie style, very, very, he never sort of boasts or puts himself out there, but he is an elite athlete. And I got to tell you, that's a high honor for Archibald, a very high honor for me to interview a guest of that caliber. Zach Alexander, well done. Thank you so much for coming on the Archie Luxury and the Paul Pluta channel. Guys, it's really dishonest to jump into bed with garbage. It's really dishonest. It's really dishonest. I mean, I've been approached hundreds of times by shitter brands. I said no. I said no. No shitters. No shitters. So just remember that when you're picking your YouTube gurus, don't always go for the one who everything's wonderful, everything's great, because it ain't the case. It ain't all fucking wonderful.
I'm only signing it because it costs nothing. So this is the congratulations to everybody.
And don't forget, fuckaroonies, like, subscribe, and tell your fuckhead friends. And don't forget to mention the Archie Luxury Travel Channel. That's where I'm doing live shows, fuckers.